Hey folks, I just got done playing another game on chess.com, and we're basically just going to go over how it played out. I don't know why I'm rated 889 now, but the guy that I was playing is rated 906. I lost a lot of games on timing. You know, a lot of these cats, I was just killing them, busting their ass, but because on chess.com you got a timing thing, and I'm one of those players that like to be real cautious. I don't just move real quick. That's why I don't really like blitz chess, or speed chess. I don't like games like that. I think that chess is a thinking game. So because I didn't move fast and I didn't make the time, a lot of the guys that I played, even though I was beating them, I mean just straight dominating them, they won the game on time. So that's why my rating is so low. I'm definitely a lot better than an 889 player at this point. I'm around 1,400 rated player, because that's the type of guys that I beat. But this is how the game played out. This is JLove47 versus Razman Baz. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Part 1, I played them twice, and this brother right here quit because I was putting it on him. I was giving it to him. I moved my knight up to f3. He moved his pawn to h6. Moved my pawn to d4. He moved his pawn to c6. I moved my knight to c3. He moved his pawn to d5, threatening my pawn on e4. Instead of attacking it, I decided to move up, and he moves his pawn down to e6. I moved my pawn up to a4. He moved his bishop down to b4, threatening my knight. I moved my bishop up to d2, protecting my knight. He moves his pawn down to b5, threatening my pawn on a3. And I decided to just take it, and we exchange pawns. And then I take his pawn with my bishop, putting him into check. He defends his king by moving his bishop down to d7. And I decided to just take it, because I have a lot of I struggle with bishops and knights. So if I can get them out the way, I will, especially if they're in a good position where they can do a lot of harm. So I just wanted to get him out the way, and he takes my bishop with his knight, and I threaten his bishop with my rook, and he protects it by moving his rook over to b8. And I see a pawn there with no protection, so I just go up there and kill him. And then he moves his queen down to b6, threatening my rook. And then I move my queen over to a1, protecting my rook. Then he moves his rook over to c8. And I decide to move my queen up to a4, because I'll be in like a checkmate type of situation. He moves his pawn down to g5, and I take his knight. I don't know why he did that. Maybe he didn't see his knight there. Maybe he forgot it was there. But I put him into check now, and leave him in a real vulnerable position. And then I go and take his rook and put him into check again. So now I'm pretty much giving him the business. I'm putting it on him, giving it to him. And I threaten his queen, and then he threatens my queen. And then I move my queen out of harm's way, and protect my rook at the same time. And he moves his queen to c6. And then I move my queen in front of his queen on c7. And then he moves his pawn down to g4, threatening my knight. I move my knight out of the way. Then he moves his rook to c8, threatening my queen now. And I just decided to take his queen because yeah, I just wanted to get that queen out the way. She was really getting on my nerves, and I see that I'm up. I have more material, so I figure I can win the game if we both lose our queens. He takes my queen with his knight, and he didn't take the queen with the rook, because if he took the queen with the rook, then I could have took my rook and moved down to b3 and took his bishop. So he took my queen with his knight so that he can protect his bishop. Now I can't take him with my rook. I move my knight to e2. He moved his knight to a5, threatening my rook, and I take his bishop. That was a bad move on his part. So he takes my pawn with his rook down on c2. And then I move my rook up to b8. He threatens my bishop with his knight to c4. And I figure, okay, you want to take my bishop, you move that knight out the way, then I'm going to have a shot at your rook. And he took it and must have forgot that, and then I came and took his rook with my rook. And it's pretty much over. I'm just killing him at this point. Like, it's not even a chess match at this point. And I'm just slowly moving my pieces up the board because he's trying to stop me from getting the queen. This is how it played out. Now I bring my rook over because I need to get that knight out the way. So I put him into check, his king. Then I threaten his knight. He moves his knight out the way. I move my rook to the side. He closing on that rook, and then I put him into check. And I guess at that point he realized that it was over. So he quit. I made him quit. So that's all she wrote. I'm getting a lot better in chess at this point. I'm making guys quit, whooping dudes' ass, you know, giving them the business, taking it to them. You know what I mean? You know, you got to beat them up, and that's what I've been doing. You know, I've been bullying dudes on this joint here. It's like I'm just playing. But yeah, he quit because it was pretty much going to be a checkmate pretty soon, because I was going to move my pawns there on F and G2, G3 actually. I was going to start moving them up, and I was up by a lot. I had a lot more material, a lot more pieces to work with than he did. So because I'm such a I ain't the best player in the world, but I'm pretty decent, it was no way that he was going to come back and win this match. I wasn't going to allow that to happen. So yeah, look out for part 2. I had played him again, so look out for part 2.